परमगुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमदानंदतीर्थ भगवत्पादाचार्यभ्यो नमः। नमः श्रीपादराजाय, नमस्ते व्यासयोगिने, नमः पुरंदरार्याय, विजयायादिते नमः. This is itself signifying the unity of Vyasa Sahithya and Dasa Sahithya. We are gathered here today to celebrate the Punya Dina of Sangeeta Pitamaha Sri Purandhara Dasaru, who showed us a simple path to achieve Jnana, Bhakti and Vairagya. He was a Mahan Chetana. He showed us ways to get closer to God just by doing his Namasmarane. Kaliyugadalli Hari Namava Nenedare Kulakotigalu Uddharisuva Ranga. I am here to talk a little bit about Dasa Sahithya. I'm sure you all know about the life history of Purandhara Dasaru, but this was a little bit about insight into Dasa Sahithya. The concept of the origin of Dasa or Dasatva can be traced back to Jagannatha Sri Lakshmi Devi, who calls herself as Sri Hari's first and foremost Charanadasi, and followed by Sri Vayudevaro, who said in front of an enemy, Dasoham Kausalendrasya. Sri Madhvacharyaro has written 37 works, and this signifies the word of Dasa. Number 3 is the, and Sa is Yara Lava Shesha Sa, the 7th alphabet. So he is always saying, Nanu Nina Sada Dasa Nanu Nina Dasa. Prahalada Rajaru propagated Navavidha Bhakuti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoha Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandyam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. All these components form the aspect of Bhakti. And in this, of course, Dasyam is one of them. When the Bhakti reaches a very, very high level, that is the Utkata Bhava between a Swami and a Bhritya, it stems from the heart and in the form of these padas and songs. And in this way, the parampara of Dasoham was born. Vyasa Sahithya and Dasa Sahithya are entwined together. They are the faces of the same coin called Adhyatma. As Vyasa Sahithya, that is composed by Veda Vyasaro, was in Sanskrit, it was not like accessible to common man, layman, and in this measure, Dasa Sahithya and the Dasarakuta is immense and immeasurable. It's like, you have a small lamp, there is no light anywhere, you have a small lamp in the corner of a house, somewhere in the kitchen or in a puja room, versus there is a very big bright star in the sky. But what is going to be of use to you at that moment is this humble small lamp in the house. And that is what Dasa Sahithya was about. It had to be reached to the common man, where everybody could understand and know about this Vyasa Sahithya, which Veda Vyasaru had composed. And Veda Vyasaru wrote about 18 Puranas and 18 Upapuranas. And this was all in Sanskrit, and it was difficult to be understood by the layman. And Purna Bhodaru wrote the Sarvamula Grantha, and many experts, many Mahanubhavaru came later. For example, Sri Jayatirtharu, who wrote all the Tarka Shastras of the works of Sriman Madhvacharya. But the message of these Granthas had to be spread to the Pamaras, to the common man, and in a language that had to be understood by everyone. And so the seeds of Dasa Sahithya was sowed by Madhvacharya. And the germination process started with Narahari Tirtharo, who came second in line after Madhvacharya. He was also, by the way, a great warrior. In Orissa, he helped the queen of Orissa to take care of the kingdom for a few years. And later on, he is himself a very, very high in the level of Madhva Siddhanta. And unfortunately, just about 2 padas have been traced back to his works, Entu Marolade and Hariye Ninagidu Sariye. And he went with Ankita of Kulatilaka. And Vishishta Sthana, later on, everything was slightly silent, and for about less than half century, that's when Sripadarajuru comes into the scene. And he gave a Visishta Sthana to Dasatva movement. He established a Vidya Kendra in Mulbagal. His Ankita was Rangavithala. He realized that this Vyasa Sahithya had to be spread everywhere. He composed a lot of songs in Kannada. Most notable of them are Sri Lakshmi Narasimha Pradurbhava, which is supposed to have 500 padyas, which contains all the 18 Puranas of Veda Vyasaru. And of course, he wrote Madhvanama, Bhramaragite, lot of other Kirtanas, Ugha Bhogas, and Mundiges. And I just want to give an example of one Mundige. This is actually, Mundiges are never, it can be not traced back to who particularly wrote that. It is anonymous, but it is one of the Dasaru who has done this Mundige. So this is, it's like a riddle. Here is one of them. Vakralita Gandha Svikarisidavana Putrana Sarathiyagi Hondidavana Nijapatniya Magana Kondidavana Sarathiya Sodariya Putrana Pitana Pitanaru. The answer is Trivakre, that she was deformed. So Krishna blesses her, and their son is Vishoka. So son is Svikarisidavana is Krishna, Putrana is Vishoka, and he was the Sarathi of somebody. So this Bhimasena, Vishoka was the Sarathi of Bhimasena in the Kurukshetra war, and his wife is Patniya is Hidamba, and their son is Katotkaja, who was killed by Karna, whose Sarathi was Shalya, and Shalya's sister Sodari was Madri. Madri's children were Nakula Sahadeva, and their father is Pandu, and their father is Vedavyasuru. This is one example of a Mundige, and these are like millions of such Mundiges that all these Dasarus have done. And another huge contemporary in this period of Vyasarajuru was Vadirajuru, and everybody, he needs no introduction, who spread the Siddhanta of Madhva Siddhanta through Haridasa Parampare. And also, for going back to Vyasarajuru, Vyasarajuru was a Shishya of Sripadarajuru. He followed his Guru's footsteps, and for a person who had composed the Tarka Tandava, Nyayamrita, Chandrika, it was not a difficult task for him to compose all these in Kannada, so many works in Kannada. And his Ankita was Sri Krishna. He established a Vidya Kendra in Vijayanagara and became a great influencer to many Dasarus. And of course, most notable of his Shishyas was our today's hero Purandhara Dasaru. And this is called the Prathama Ghatta of Dasa Sahithya, when Purandhara Dasaru enters the scene. So Purandhara Dasaru and Kanaka Dasaru, who was also another contemporary, they followed the Yati Parampara. And in Purandhara Dasaru, we can find, all the three precious ingredients which are needed: the Jnana, Bhakti, Vairagya. The renunciation of Navakoti is beyond anybody's imagination. And it is said, though Vyasarajuru was the Guru of Purandhara Dasaru, in Mula Rupa it is reversed. It is said that Vyasarajuru would sweep the floor of Purandhara Dasaru's house, sweep and mop, and draw rangoli and do pradakshina around his house. When asked why, he says, in this janma, I might be his guru, he might be my disciple, but in the Mula Rupa, he was my guru. When I was in the womb of my mother, he is the one who brought Hari Bhakti in me, because Purandhara Dasaru is Naradamsha. And he is the one who has proclaimed that Dasarindare Purandhara Dasaraya. And he has called these words, these are not mere words, these are not mere Dear Namas, these are not mere Mundiges, these are not any of such, but it is Upanishads. It's all the Vedas are there in this, all the Upanishads are there in each and every single song that all these Dasarus have composed. And though it is said that he did, Pada Kurate 5 lakhs, like 4,75,000 works, Purandhara Dasaru. Unfortunately, right now we have access to high 3 digits or maybe 1,000 works. So in the war battle of Talikote, which happened on 23rd January 1565, the battle between Vijayanagara Empire and the Deccan Sultanates, everything was destroyed. The precious Vijayanagara Empire was destroyed, and almost all the works was destroyed. And so it will be a disservice today, and it will be not out of space if we don't remember Vijayadasara today. It was because of him we have a few works that we are able to talk about Purandara today. He is the one who saved these few works of Purandara, and he is said to be born as he was his son in his previous verse when it was Purandara. So he enters the scene after almost about a century after Purandara. It is a little bit hushed for a while after Purandara, and of course the many scholars make their own have made their own works all over India in their local languages. But again in Karnataka it was, if not, he attempts for the third time to give up his life, Vijayadasara, in Manikarnika Ghat. But then if not for Lord Srihari, who comes in the form of Purandara and saves him, and today he has given us precious gems like Gopaladasara and Jagannath Dasara, and we have to have so much gratitude towards Vijayadasara that he was able to save all this. And if not for, of course, Jagannath Dasara, we would not be having Harikatamrita Sara today. And there is one, I would like to say just one line about Gopaladasara. And Gopaladasara's sacrifice and his Mahatva needs no introduction. How he gave 40 years of his life to Jagannath Dasara. There is one pada that Gopaladasara made. Henge Madalayya Krishna, Pogutide Ayushya. Ravinandana Kelidar Uttara Kode, Vivara Saraku Vandadarilla. He says. So, what do I do, Krishna? My lifespan is just going away. Ravinandana Kelidar Uttara Kode. So Ravinandana is, who is Ravinandana? Ravinandana is Yamadharmaraya, Ravi's son. When he asked me, when I leave this body, when he asked me, what have you done? What sadhana have you done? He's going to ask me, Kelidara Uttar Ondu Kuda, I don't have any answer to him. So that is the composition of Gopaladasara. And of course, when we talk about Jagannath Dasara, it is just one spadya of Harikatamrita Sara. It is so difficult to understand from the composition of Jagannath Dasara. And so we should not forget that most of these Dasaras have come from very, very high background with profound knowledge in their Mula Rupas, Amshas, Avataras and different Kakshas. And Kanakadasara was the avatar of Yamadharmaraya in 18th Kaksha, Purandara Dasara, Naradamshara in 14th Kaksha, Vijayadasara, avatar of Brugumani in 15th Kaksha, Gopaladasara is Ganeshamsa in 18th Kaksha, and Jagannath Dasara is Karmaja Devata in 19th Kaksha. And we should also remember there were so many Mahilas, so many women who were in the Dasatva movement. Couple of them who are very famous were Helavanakatte Giriyamma and Harpanalli Bhimava. And these great gems, rare gems given by the Dasakutta, with this composition of all this, it spread. Even women in living in villages, illiterates, who were not able to read Sanskrit or read any other languages, they got access to this and they fell in love with all these Muddiges, Padas and Suladis, and they started enjoying inadvertently they're inside enjoying all these Puranas and Vedas and Upanishads which are imbibed in this compositions. And and that is how, and the Dasa Sahithya has all the Vedas, Upanishads, Tattvajnana, everything is hidden in a simple language. There is no deviation from Vyasa Sahithya. It is propagating Hari Bhakti and it is propagating Taratamya Jnana. And and I just wanted to talk about one composition from Guru Gopala Vitadala Dasaro, where he says, Valide Yakayamma Lakumi Halavangada Havane Tilidu Tiliyadange. That is one of his compositions. And did he say ತಿಳಿದು ತಿಳಿದು twice just for the sake of saying? Like we say in Kannada, right? ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದು ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? It was not like that. It was not like mere that he wanted to fill in some padas and he did this. There is a reason why he said ತಿಳಿದು 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 hange. He's asking Lakshmi, why did you marry this? He Halavangadavana has so many avatars, so many like body personifications. Why did you marry knowingly? So twice knowingly is used, and the reason for this is Lakshmi Devi is called Sama and Asama. She's Sama in only two things with Lord Srihari, and two, that is, she's everywhere with him. Deshataha Sama, Kalataha Sama. She's everywhere with him in all times. That is the reason why he used Tilidu Tilidu. Tiliyadhange, why did he use? But she can never know him fully. Sampurnate she can never have. Paripurnate she can never have. That is the reason he said Tilidu Tilidu Tiliyadhange. So like this, there are so many things to learn in each of the compositions that all these Dasarus have made. And just as we speak now, there are close to about 1,500 research works that have been done with regards to Dasa Sahithya. And all these people who are doing research, many of them have finished their Sudha Patas, PhDs, they are professors, they are in all walks of life. They are from 80, 90-year-olds to young people who have given up high-paying jobs to do these research and to participate in this Dasatva movement. And the gist of all the works of Dasarus is, this is the human body is made up of Pancha Jnanendriyas and Pancha Karmendriyas. So make it useful, and this is something unique that has been given to you by God. Make it useful for what? Towards Adhyatma. Make your life useful for that. And one can advise volumes about Vairagya, volumes about detachment. But Purandhara Dasaru lived his life just like that. He showed us how to live, and he showed us he was a model to posterity. Krishna Arpanamastu.
Hello. Thank you so much, Veena.